Barton Popoff here for the Contrarians. Welcome back to another episode of Reliving Old Reviews as a Useless Tool of Confusion. This is our little mini show within the Contrarians where I look at an old review of an album that got massive, huge, had all sorts of context. Many words have been said on it. But what did the guys say at the very beginning? The journalists, the legendary journalists, often from the UK. Today we're dealing with Chris Welch, who's an absolute legend, great writer. What could they say at the time when this thing first came out, when this album or this band didn't have so much baggage, and what amusing things can we pull out of these reviews? We're looking at a little bit of a later one this time. I think as time goes on, what you notice with these reviews from all the ones we've been doing from the early 70s is that all the writers are more aware, more with it. You don't get as many sort of dissenting or surprising things said about these records because everybody's kind of got the game more or less figured out, sort of thing. But yeah, let's see. I haven't read this review for a long time. I'm going in cold. I won't remember any of this. But what we're looking at here is a review of Iron Maiden's The Number of the Beast from Kerrang, 1982. And by the way, I want to thank Chris Jackson again for sending these in. Chris has been our lifeline for these things. Nice readable PDFs that I can blow up and stuff of these reviews. So thank you, Chris, for making this show possible, basically. And let's get to it. So this is a review of The Number of the Beast. But by the way, before I get there, remember I've got a massive Iron Maiden book coming out on my birthday, 2025. What are we calling it? Hallowed by Thy Name, the unofficial Iron Maiden Bible. It's 666 pages. It's hardcover. It's full color throughout, over 400 pictures. It's an amalgamation of all three of my trilogy of Iron Maiden self-published books from years ago, plus expanded, rewritten, added to. It's by far the biggest book I've ever done. That's coming out on my birthday. 2025. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, and I have Iron Maiden album by album, which is available right now at martinpopoff.com. That just came out in an updated edition to include the Senjutsu chapter. So, okay, so what does Chris Welch say about this? Chris Welch is like I say, a super important journalist in this, but he's a yes expert. He's a prog expert as well. Let's see what he has to say. I am not a number, I am a free man, was the anguished cry of Patrick McGugan when he played the prisoner in the cult TV series. That enigmatic bit of soundtrack ushers in a new Iron Maiden classic, The Prisoner, on this polished but exciting album. Interesting. I find this album very exciting, not very polished. And The Prisoner is actually probably my favorite song on the whole album. So that's kind of cool. That's mentioned right away. Along with lumbering giant Eddie, their arthritic mascot, the themes of sex and witchcraft are all part of Maiden's use of rock showbiz. But beneath it all, they are simply a good band who could play any style of rock with the same expertise. Sounding a little bit like Chris is not too sure that, doesn't really understand this band. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from that. Sex and witchcraft, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose. But simply a good band? No, this is a really good band with a lot of great ideas. And could they play any style of rock with the same expertise? I don't know. They are born and bred, dyed in the wool heavy metal people, these guys. But absolutely super exciting band and album. And like I say, loads of talent, loads of ideas, many, just commanding, ruling the new wave of British heavy metal, basically, from start to finish kind of thing. Let's see. It's sometimes considered obscene to talk about musicianship, but Maiden have it in large chunks, and that puts a seal of quality on this Martin Birch production, which showcases, in particular, the talents of fine new singer Bruce Dickinson, so impressive on the recent UK tour. From the opening cut, Invaders, Bruce shows he has the throat and lungs to survive the strain of hard touring, and that bit of vocal magic to make him a star. Absolutely, yeah. Great singer, great power, great presence, super important part of the band. Not many metal warriors could cope so skillfully with the nifty key changes the guitarists spring on him in the middle of Invaders, but it is this sort of unexpected breaking out of routine that puts Maiden a cut above the rest. Yeah, interesting, pointing out the modulation in Invaders and Bruce having to go super high, pretty cool. Dave Murray and Adrian Smith steam into this fast arrangement with Clive Burr's drums, practically playing the tune along with them. It's a brilliant opening, and standards are maintained with Children of the Damned, which gives Bruce a chance to show off his full vocal range without resorting to aimless screaming. The Prisoner is also notable for Steve Harris's excellent bass work. Listen carefully, he is doing all sorts of clever things in the background. Very nice. 22 Acacia Avenue is a tale of sex in the suburbs at a price, and as is the tradition of Rene the Docker's Delight, familiar to Small Phases fans. The Number of the Beast is the one they had all the problems with in the studio, with bad luck and accidents. It comes complete with spoken words from an emissary of the devil himself. Apparently, the dreaded number is 666, which I thought was how you called the Australian police force. But devilry aside, it is a powerful performance. Gangland, which follows, has a violent drum introduction from Clive, and what the tune lacks in subtlety, he makes up for with sheer drive. Kind of interesting here that over the years, as you know, endless thought has been put into analyzing this album, it's Gangland and Invaders that have become the songs that have been considered to be the underwritten, not so well undercooked songs on this album. The flaws on this album, maybe bringing it down a notch. Famously, this is Brian Slagle from Metal Blade's favorite album of all time, right? I love it a lot too, but I think, it has a little bit of a patchiness to it. And I just think they really bring it all together with Peace of Mind. I find this a little bit of a scampery album. Not crazy about, definitely not crazy about Run to the Hills. Never liked that song very much. But yeah, I think the drumming is a little frantic and tight and punky on this album, but it is a very, very exciting album, as are the first two. But I think Peace of Mind's a more sober album, and it's more of a masterpiece kind of thing. Anyways, the end of this says, Hallowed Be Thy Name is more tight unison playing from the drums and guitars, and concludes as a thunderous set of performances that deserve to dominate the album charts for weeks ahead. Very, very prophetic there, Chris. We know that this band is going places and going to be huge. They already are huge at this point. There was a lot of excitement for this album when it came out. Again, the parallels are to Ronnie James Dio joining Black Sabbath. There's just a lot of excitement about Bruce coming in. Bruce, amazing work on Samson, especially Shock Tactics. So yeah, this was they did not miss a beat. It was just onwards and upwards for the band. Good solid review from Chris here. Very cool. This has been another Reliving Old Reviews is a useless tool of confusion. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let us know in the comments what you think of Chris's review, whether he got it right here, and go listen to some Maiden.